I'm 79 years old, and I need to tell you something you've been avoiding your whole life. You are going to end up alone. Not maybe, not possibly. You will find yourself completely on your own someday, probably sooner than you think, and you are not ready. I know because I wasn't ready either. I had a husband I adored for 44 years. I had two children who seemed to care. I had girlfriends I'd known since high school. Then they all disappeared. Not because they stopped loving me, because that's what happens when you get old. People leave, people get busy, people die. One morning, you wake up in a silent house and realize nobody is coming. Let me tell you what nobody wants to admit. Your spouse may not be there. My husband, Richard, and I married in 1979, 44 years together. He handled everything outside the home: finances, investments, insurance. I handled the house. That was our deal. I never learned where the money went because Richard knew. I never understood the investments because Richard managed them. I never imagined being alone because we had a plan. Grow old together, die holding hands. That was the fantasy. Richard died 3 years ago. Heart attack took him in one afternoon. One moment we were eating lunch together. 2 hours later, I was standing in a hospital room saying goodbye. I came home to a house full of mysteries. Bank accounts I didn't know existed, bills I'd never seen, investment statements that looked like a foreign language, insurance policies I couldn't find. The first week, I couldn't figure out how to access our savings. Richard had all the passwords. I called the bank crying, trying to prove I was his wife. It took 3 weeks to sort out. I was 76 years old, raised two children, managed a household for decades, organized everything, and I couldn't access my own money. Here's the truth. One of you will leave first. That's just mathematics. And if you've never learned to survive alone, you won't know how when it matters. But death isn't the only way a spouse disappears. My friend Carolyn was married 36 years. Happy marriage, or so she believed. One Sunday, her husband sat her down and said he was leaving. Met someone younger at work, been planning it for a year, had a lawyer already, had an apartment picked out. Carolyn was 63. She had no idea anything was wrong. Her whole world collapsed in one conversation. She called me that night sobbing so hard I couldn't understand her, kept saying the same thing. I didn't see it coming. 36 years and I didn't see it coming. You cannot assume your spouse will be there forever. Love them, trust them, but know how to survive without them. Know where every dollar is. Know every account, every password, every policy. Know how to manage investments, how to handle bills, how to make financial decisions. Not because you're paranoid, because you're prepared. Your children may not be there either. I have two children. Michelle is 51, David is 48. I love them completely. Neither lives within 600 miles of me. Michelle is in Seattle with her family. David is in Texas with his. They have careers, mortgages, kids in school, problems of their own. They call me, they visit sometimes, they love me. But when I fell in my kitchen last winter and couldn't get up, they weren't there. When I needed someone to drive me to get my car fixed, they weren't there. When the furnace broke during a cold snap, they weren't there. They were 1,000 miles away living their lives, and I don't blame them. That's what I raised them to do. But I stopped pretending they would rescue me. I live in a retirement community now. I've watched this story repeat dozens of times. Spouse dies, mother waits for children to step up, waits for more phone calls, waits for someone to take charge, and waits and waits. The children have their own problems, their own marriages struggling, their own kids in trouble, their own bills piling up. They cannot manage their elderly mother from across the country. And here's the part nobody discusses. Sometimes the children who show up are not there to help. I knew a woman named Gladys, widowed at 81, started having memory troubles. Her son Kenneth suddenly became very attentive, moved into her house, took over her checkbook, said he was protecting her. Within 8 months, Gladys was in a facility. Kenneth was driving a new truck. Gladys's savings account was empty. Her house was sold. She died alone and broke. Her daughter tried to sue. Too late, everything was gone. Keep your affairs in order. Have your own attorney. Never hand over complete control just because someone offers help. Your friends may not be there. I had 4 close girlfriends, Nancy, Barbara, Ruth, and Evelyn. We met in 1962, stayed close for almost 60 years. Lunch every week, shopping trips, phone calls every few days. Nancy died in 2019, breast cancer. Barbara died in 2021, pneumonia. Ruth had a stroke. She's alive but can't really talk anymore. Evelyn moved to Florida to be near her grandchildren. We talk sometimes, it's not the same. I'm the last one standing. Every year my phone rings less. Every year fewer people remember I exist. Every year the silence gets louder. This is what happens. Your friends don't abandon you, they just disappear, one by one, until you look around and you're the only one left. So what do you do about it? Number 1, know your money. Every account, every investment, every debt, every automatic payment, every password. I don't care if your husband handles everything. You need to know it all. I've seen widows discover the life insurance lapsed years ago. Women who didn't know about debts their husband had hidden. Wives who couldn't access their own savings for weeks after their husband died. That was me. Don't let it be you. Sit down together, go through everything, write it down, update it every year. Number 2, build connections outside your family. Join something, a church, a book club, a volunteer group, a regular coffee shop where they know your name. Create a life where someone will notice if you don't show up. My neighbor Margaret and I have tea every morning at 8. If I don't appear, she knocks on my door. If I don't answer, she has a key. That simple routine might save my life. Number 3, have a backup plan. Can you afford your home without your husband's income? If your health changes, can you manage that big house? If you need help, where would you go? Figure it out now, not while you're grieving and confused and vulnerable. Number 4, stop depending on your children. I love my children, but they have their own lives, their own problems, their own families pulling them out. Hope they'll be there, pray they'll be there, but plan as if they won't. Number 5, make peace with solitude. This is the hardest one. You need to learn to be alone without being miserable, to enjoy your own company, to find peace in quiet. Because there will be days when nobody calls, when the house is silent, when you're the only person there. If you've never practiced being alone, those days will destroy you. But if you've made peace with solitude, you'll survive, maybe even thrive. It's been 3 years since Richard died. The first year was the worst of my life. I cried every night, slept on his side of the bed, didn't want to continue. The second year I started figuring things out, learned to manage the finances, learned to make decisions alone, built a routine. This year something shifted. I woke up one morning and realized I was okay. Not happy like before, but okay. I have my tea at 7, my walk at 8, my neighbor at 9, my routines and my rhythms and my reasons to get up. I'm alone, but I'm not drowning anymore. Ask yourself right now, if you woke up tomorrow and everyone was gone, would you survive? If the answer is no, you have work to do. Start today. Know your finances, build connections outside family, make a backup plan, stop depending entirely on your children, practice being alone. Don't wait until you're standing in an empty house wondering what happened to your life. I'm 79 years old. I ended up alone, but I'm still here, still breathing, still living, because I finally learned the truth. The only person you can count on forever is yourself. Make sure you're worth counting on. Start now.